Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ravenport Farm. I said Ravenport Farm in Farm Simulator 19. We're doing contracts again and we're going to have to work into the night tonight. The weather is absolutely awful. It has been tipping down all day and we're at risk of losing our crops. So if we go into the map view, we're working up on field 13 at the moment. We go down to our farm, you can see that our 3 fields are all ready to harvest. They're at stage 2 ready to harvest, which means if we don't get them pulled in very soon, we're going to go to stage 3, and after that they will wither and we will lose the crops. Now, one of the things that I do want to do is this beastie. I want to replace it. That small header, and it's the only header that works on this combine, is just, it's too small. We need a bigger header so that the windrows of straw are further apart, which makes them faster to collect or to bale and collect, and also means that we have a much easier time of it. So let's just jump out of there a moment, and I'm going to take that down to the shop and exchange it. But yeah, it is still raining. See it against the sky. What we're going to do, right, we're going to go to the PDA and we are going to have a look for a new harvester. Now, everybody knows that I am a case fanatic, so we can't afford this. We've got 373,000 total, plus whatever we're making off the contracts overnight. What I want to do, let's just get out of the PDA for a moment and let's have a look at the map. What I want to do is I want to retain this farm down here, the original farm, and use that to farm this valley and these fields at the top on our side of the railway. I will then ultimately create another farm up on the top which manages all of these larger fields that are inside the railway loop, plus these 3 over here. And the reason for that is that these fields up here need very different equipment to these small fields down here. So yeah, back to the PDA. That explains what we're trying to do. And in the PDA, in harvesters, we have somewhere, well, that's quite a small combine. It's not going to solve the problem of the narrow header. What I'm looking for is, there's a there it is, very special harvester, this one. It's a very low price one. It was, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that originally this model was made for export to developing nations. That's why it's so cheap. It's got none of the frills that the bigger ones have got, but it's perfect for us to use down in the valley, and it does the 5 main grains plus sunflowers and corn if it's got the appropriate headers. So I'm going to buy one of those. Design is standard, or it can have a cover on the roof. See there? Well, given the amount of rain we've been getting, I'm going to put the cover on the roof, even though it costs us an extra 1,000. The wheel setup, we can have the standard wheel setup there, or transport wheels, twin wheels, or back to standard. Now, what I'm more interested in is what is the width of the rear axle on those. On transport, the rear axle is much wider. On twin wheels, it stays wide. In fact, the axle doesn't change, it's just the tyre that changes, which is annoying because personally, I'd want that wider wheel on the rear with this front floater tyre I forgot what they call them, LBWs or something. If you know it, pop it in the comments. Correct this old fart's memory. But I want this narrower wheelbase on the front because of the maneuverability on the small fields. So we're going to have to go with that configuration. We can't change the length of the pipe, which is fine, because with a 7,000 litre hopper, it's probably going to contain all of a field's harvest in one hopper full and be able to bring it to the silos itself. Or if we're doing it as a contract, it can drop it all into one trailer that can then go off and do the delivery. So I'm going to buy that outright as it is. That'll be waiting for us at the shop. And what we'll then do is we will go down and we will sell this New Holland. The New Holland is actually worth more than that case that we've just bought. We paid 52,000 for the case. With this New Holland and header, which is a point, I've got to buy a header for the case. We'll do that when we get to the shop. This New Holland and header, we should get around 100,000 for it, which means that selling this has paid for the case and hopefully its headers, because in fact we'll need two headers. We'll need a grain header and a corn header. So yeah, there's our new case. It's a smaller vehicle than this one overall, but it's got an extra 2,000 litres in the hopper. It's a more powerful engine and it can take a bigger header, which is what we want. Right, so drop this into here. On forward. There we go. And jump out. And I believe we can sell it from... No, we can we sell it from here? I can't remember. Right. Yes, we can. Right. We'll sell the header first. 27... Call it 28,000 for the header. Oops. Do that. And 87,000 for the vehicle itself. Okay. Actually, can we repair that and get a better price? Yeah, marginally. Okay, so that's those sold. Right, let's get up here and we want to buy the headers for this thing. So even after buying the main vehicle, selling the New Holland has pushed us up to 436,000. That contract's just finished. Let's get the headers for this. Now, we have got, I've forgotten what it was it 250 something horsepower on this? There it is. 253 horsepower. It doesn't say on here which headers it can take, so we've got to work with it and work around it. So there's the 2100 series. 280 horsepower on the 2100 series. If we just customize that to the 2166, that's 240 horsepower. Ours has got 253, so anything the 2166 can take, ours can take. That means ours can take that Terraflex, that 7.6 meter. Oh, that's the 2566. Oh, that's a big difference. Oh, there's the 2566 there. In fact, the 2566 is 253 horses, which is the same as ours. Yeah. So whatever the 2566 takes, ours can take. They're both 253 horsepower. Want that 7.6 meter header. That I think is the perfect header for us. 7.6 meters is amply wide enough for the small fields. It's also narrow enough for getting around. So if we buy that outright, I think the advantage of that folding header is that it's much easier for getting around the roads. We don't have to worry so much about traffic, and also for getting between things like telegraph poles and signposts. So we'll go with that. We'll take the Diamante. That's what I was originally budgeting for, even though I didn't say it at the start of the screen. It's, you know, the Capello is the one that I was going to go for. So we'll customize it. We'll just do a color switch, bring it onto the full case colors like that, and we'll buy that. And then we need a trailer for that header. We'll try that one, hoping that's going to be long enough. Let's try this. Right, now we have got a marginal problem because everything's in darkness. So we've only got this vehicle for doing the shunting with. All the lights on. Wow, no rear lights. Right, pig's ear of a job. Oh, we'll pick it up. And let us pick it up. Right, take this round, see if we can get it on that trailer. It's possible we might not. Right, it might be long enough, you know. Might be long enough. The question is, are we high enough to get it on? Or do we need a bigger combine to be able to get the height of that trailer? Oh. Gonna be tricky, isn't it? Try it. Coming in square. Turn the wheel. Oh. Didn't mean to do that, sorry. Turn the wheel. Problem, the keys are right next to each other, and if you're watching the screen, sometimes you get the wrong key. Right, that's square. Little square. That's about it. Let go there. Said convinced that's right, but we'll go with it because I want to have this back at the farm before the rain stops so that we can get straight onto those fields. Yeah, I know we've got a tractor and sprayer still sitting out on one of the contract fields. We've got to rescue that. See the warning from course play in the bottom left above the mini map. See how that folded corn header helps to keep the vehicle narrow for driving through the roads. And don't think we've got sunflower or corn crop in, but maybe contracts come up for it, which is why I'm buying it now, and it's done, and I know I don't have to do it for the valley. The valley is sorted right now, and I have to zoom out because I need to see what's happening on that trailer. I don't know for sure that that header is in the secured location on the trailer. Might start slipping, and if it does, you have to be a little bit careful. Right, so let's get this back to the farm. I may cut this journey and just do a jump from start to finish if there's no events, just to save a bit of time. Cue music. So, there we are. One harvester successfully changed out. We've now got more capacity. Got 7,000 instead of 5,000 litre capacity on this. We've got an extra 100 horsepower of engine size. The header that was a 4 metre on the New Holland is now a 7.6 on this, the grain header, and we've got a 6 metre corn header to go with it as well. Perfect. And out of all of that, our cash only dropped by about 30,000. So, job done. Good deal. Right, back to the contracts. I'm going to hammer a bunch of contracts out now and get some cash in the bank, and as soon as that rain stops, day or night, I'm going to come back to you and we'll start getting our crops in, and then we'll work on the contract crops. But don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a minute in the video, even though it might take several hours, hopefully not several days in game, because several days would lose us the crops to withering. We've really got to get them harvested, if not tonight, then in the morning. So this rain had better stop. And I notice we've got a sunshine symbol coming up at the top right, which means that come round about midnight, we should be getting dry weather. So it's going to be an early hours of the morning harvest. I'll see you for that. Don't go anywhere. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, welcome back. Right, we've done a load of contracts, and as predicted, it's 11 o'clock at night, the rain is easing off. It has been torrential all night, but I've been able to get a load of fertilising contracts done. We've still got 3 to do. Currently we've still got 3 to do. These are ones that just appeared on the board a few minutes ago, and I'm just back to refill the fertilizer spreader. Now I'm going to show you a trick. Right, the next field that we're going to do is too big to be done with just one fill of the spreader, and it's also way too far away to come back putting an extra couple of 100 litres in. So I'm going to park there for a second. I'm going to hit I, I'm going to drop a couple of pallets. Those will be 1,000 litre pallets, and I'll then swing round. I'm using the bale spikes because I don't have a set of fork forks. That's okay, these do the job as well. Sometimes they do the job better because the tines are thinner than the ones on the regular forklift. That didn't help. That didn't come in square, did it? Better. Tilt that back, lift it up a bit. I'll quite happily stay on the forks though it's needed. And refill the hopper for the spreader. Boom. Close the cover again, and we're off to do the next contract. Means that we don't have to break off the contract halfway through because the fertilizer spreader's empty. So that if we have to, pause, the hopper's empty, refill from that pallet, carry on and finish the job before we come back for the next refill. So I'll see you across at the field and get this underway. I am using course play on these jobs, and then hopefully by the time we get back from that, the rain will have stopped and we'll be able to get our crops harvested before they wither, because we're now at stage 3 growth on them. I'll see you in a moment. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see from the clock at the top right, it's just before midnight and the rain has stopped. So it's time to get our fields pulled in before they spoil. And we're going to use our nice shiny new combine harvester and its grain header. Now, use that trailer purely as a parking location for the grain header, and we're working close to our own farm. If we go further down the valley towards town, then we may use it to transport the header. Tricky this. Got it. Got the idea. It lifted that connector, which is what I wanted. So let's start. We'll just do it as they appear. Let's get all the lights on, as many as we've got. Go straight up the side of this field. Can't even remember what's in this field. Hold on. Green. That's going to be soybeans. Right, so we won't get a swath off this. So it's just unfold the harvester, turn it on. First need to unfold it. Gee, there we are. Fold it. Hopefully that will hit. Right. E. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull the menu up. Pipe. No, don't want pipe out. Unfold harvester. X. What I was doing. Right. That says it's unfolded. B. There we go. Now we're cooking. That wheel is not pushed down and catching it. I hope this does harvest okay, otherwise we're going to have to rush to the shop. Yeah, there we go. Right, okay. Now, I'm going to manually harvest this field. The little international tractor, by the way, is still out doing fertilising contracts. It's got, well, it's halfway through the second last one, and then it's got a very small one to finish up. So I'll need to keep jumping across that as I get the warnings. The reason I'm cutting up this side first is to give, basically because I want to get to the top and I want to put a headland across the top of the field so that the harvester's not turning right next to the trees. I want to give it a bit of space to do it. I may have to put a worker in here when I go and take care of the little international doing its fertilising contracts. Get these fields harvested as quickly as possible. And it's doing alright. It's harvesting at 6 miles an hour, which is the standard speed for this type of work on all the vehicles. I mean, there are some that will do it a little bit faster and some that do it a little bit slower, but as an average for a harvester with a grain header on it, 6 miles an hour is what most of them seem to perform at. Well, it's what they seem to be set at by the game, if we're honest. So it's not as if this is running faster or slower than the average. It's bang on the average. And this is going to be a high yield off this field. My God! Look at the content count down at the bottom right. Going to be on about 2,000 litres by the time we hit the bottom of this row. So we may in fact have to empty the harvester before we finish the field, so it's going to be 2 emptyings. Much of that chaff sprayed on the field as possible helps with fertilising it. Remember, we put soybeans in here, A, because they're a cash crop, B, because they are nitrogen neutral, so we didn't have to fertilise this field. I can't remember if we did or not in the end, but we didn't have to do it. From the look of the colours on the mini-map, I'd say that we did fertilise it. Right, now, if this is going to... Oh, there we are. Yeah, the 12 foot, the little international needs a refill. If this is going to need emptying before we can finish the field, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a worker in here, but I'm not going to use course play. Now that I've cut those headlands, I'm just going to use a regular in-game helper rather than a course play helper. Get his wheels straight and press H. Goes. Quite happy in the cab there. Nice they've got a light in the cab so that we can see the driver. I like that. Not every vehicle does that. In fact, very few vehicles do that. I like that. Anyway, let's jump across to the International. Needs a refill. It's empty. It hasn't finished this field. It's only about halfway through it. So, need to bring up course play. Stop the driver. Get a save point. Close course play. And we're going to have to go back down to the farm to refill. Now, we might be lucky here. One refill of this might be enough to finish this field and do the other field that needs done, which is a very small field. So, it's only going to need a dribble to finish it. Or to fertilise it, I should say. I'll see you back at the combine once I've refilled this guy and set them on as tasks. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. And in case you wondered how I can figure out where this guy stopped before we took him away to refill him, if you look at the mini-map, you'll see the differentiations in the colour. And because we're using course play to do this field, I can get him into roughly position. I can bring up course play. I can start this job at the next closest waypoint, and off he goes. Close that, and you can see there is, he's spraying. If you watch the mini map, you'll see that darker blue area extending as he carries on. Great, so we can leave him in peace now. Need to get back to the combine, which I've just had the message it's nearly full, and in fact it is nearly full. Look, it's at 97%. It's got about a swath and a half. It's got about a run and a half to do to finish the field, but it's not going to be able to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump across to one of the tractors, it doesn't matter which, and we'll get the grain truck out so that we can just offload the harvester properly on the field. I'll allow him just to hold his position and finish the field. But he's full, he's got his pipe out, he's standing still. message come up on screen, top right. It's all busy, busy, busy. I told you harvest season gets a bit frenetic. Look at all these lovely soybeans. That's going to be about 7,500 litres of soybeans in total off this one field, which is a tiny little field. I'm very pleased with that. That is an incredible yield from this small patch that was 2 postage stamp fields that we merged and extended. And just let him finish. What that allows us to do then is we can park up over here so that when he comes back down, now he's going to put his right hand end of his header against the left hand side of that run. So we probably want to put this on the grass to have it in the right position for when he comes down. Probably want it to be roughly back a little bit. The pipe is behind the header. Have a look. Wait until he gets his angle and then we can make our final position. I want to back up the greenway a bit. Yeah. Okay. Back it up a wee bit. Far off the edge, is he? Alright, so if we put our wheels on the edge of that chaff, park it about there, that should be perfect for him to automatically unload into us as he gets alongside. Hopefully the pipe is long enough that he'll do it. Swinging it out, that's good. And yeah, perfect positioning. Oh, you would have thought I'd planned that. There we are, so he's now empty. What that allows me to do is to run over here, drop this into the silo. We'll check prices after. We want to get all... Well, yeah, you made a right mess of that, Gaz. Too much haste, not enough speed. An old phrase of my grandmother's, who I miss dearly every day. Even though she passed away in 1987. That's part of 35 years ago. 36 years ago. I miss her every day. Right, so empty there. Right, on field 13 finished, so we'll get the combine set away on our next piece of harvesting. Oh. That trailer parked there. To the combine, pipe in, lights on. And I've forgotten what's in this one as well. I'll have to have a look. See, this one I think we can get a swath from. So, let's have a look. Fruit type oat. Yes, we can get a swath from this. So we'll go once round the outside of the field and then put a helper in again. So, turn it on. Oh. Want that straw. Straw is money. It's worth more money as straw or silage than it is as fertilizer. Might have to put a second headland across the bottom of that field because of that shed. Okay. Depending on how close the trees are up here, I might even have to do the same up here. Oh, and it's struggling with this little bit of hill. This is where the horsepower in your harvester really comes into its own. We're already pushing on the limit of the horsepower with the size of the header. If you remember last episode when we bought, or the start of this episode when we bought it, I was talking about the horsepower and the width, so on. So we were already pushing on the limit of it. That last little bit of that hill, which is very steep, really gave it a little bit of a problem. Cut its speed in half, took it down to 3 miles an hour. That's why on big fields you've got to be very aware of how much you're taxing the engine, the harvester, with those big wide headers. Never put a header that's beyond the limits of the engine. Otherwise you might find you can't harvest the field. Ooh, messed that up. Covered it. Good play. And this is also going to be a very high yielding field, look. Heading towards 3,500 litres just doing the headland. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Right, so I am going to put a second headland across the bottom here because of that shed at the far end. To make it easier for the helper to do the job. And we'll go and sort out the little international fertilising contracts. See how much further apart the swaths are compared to when we were using that New Holland. Remember back about 6-7 episodes ago. So he's now got room to turn, and the helper in there, off it goes. Over half full already. Awesome. Right, come across to the, there he is, and field 13 is finished. He's now got to do, I believe it's field 14. Yep. So we'll collect the money on that one, field 14, which is just quite a small field in comparison, just on the other side of the level crossing. And still got 4/5 full hopper on the fertilizer, so you'll be able to get that done from what he's already got on board, and then we'll be able to take him down the farm, clean him up, give him a service, drop the fertilizing unit, park up the international, focus on the crops. And there is a ton of harvesting jobs to do and mowing jobs, so we're in a position to be able to buy our mowers now and the related equipment for them. Already got our baler, needed that for our grain crops and so on, straw, but we need our mowers. We're going to need a tedder, we're going to need a windrower or tethered hay. Need a hay bab for doing for turning windrows. A few other bits and pieces. Right, so onto there. Horse generation, field 14. Yeah. Once around, generate the field course. Done. Back. Start course at First waypoint. Turn to first point. No, stop and dismiss driver. In case it takes us too long to get there. Off you go. Off he goes. Right. Get that off screen. Up through to him. 80% full already. So tab through to the grain tractor. Feeling it's going to have to go through the crop to empty the combine this time round. Really is having fun with the slope on that field. Might have to do them from side to side next time, rather than up and down the field. Wait for him to fill up and put his pipe out before we move in and empty him. This will probably be about where I end this episode, with the harvest on our fields underway. And next week, which will be the third week of the series, instead of having one episode per day, I'm going to cut it back to 3 per day so that I can get another series on something else underway, something that I've been waiting to do for quite some time. So I hope you'll forgive me for that. I've got a lot of games that people have been wanting me to do a series on, and some that I've been begged and begged and begged, please return to it, either finish the series or do another series. For example, Conan Exiles. I received so many requests to do a 4th series on Conan Exiles, and also a lot of requests to finish up the episode 3 story mode of The Long Dark, which I'm dreading because I really hate what they did with the Timber Wolves, or with the wolves generally in terms of their attack paths. And I've been asked, because people know I play it, I've streamed it on Twitch, I've been asked to do a series on Elder Scrolls Online. Medieval Dynasty, you've already seen me do a couple of series with. A few other games of that ilk. I've been asked to do Space Engineers and Empyrean Galactic Survival. I've been asked when I'm going to return to Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen. The last couple of years when I've not been well, and I've been in and out of hospital with heart attacks and stuff, channel's really suffered because of lack of content. Well, I'm hoping to change that and get back into more regular uploads. Might be that between now and Christmas I have to do 2 or 3 a day with different games, try to cover 4 or 5 different games a week, just to get the channel awareness back up again so that people can find me. If it is, so be it. But that's all to the benefit of you guys for watching, and I do thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the series or any of the videos on the channel, please give those videos a like and leave a comment on them. Otherwise the YouTube algorithm will not make them visible in search. And if you want to do me a real favour, subscribe to the channel. It's free, it just costs you a click, and it'll let you know when I've put new videos up. So, from me, the Gazbeard, as I'm fixing up this tractor before parking it away. God, it needs a wash, better do that first. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you're thinking about this series, and I'll see you in the next episode next week, probably Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday for this series. But you'll know that next week, whichever day of the week the first episode next week goes up. It'll be every second day for this series, so it'll either be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But you'll know that as soon as you see it. From me, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.